Well. Welcome in, everybody. An early, quick breaking news edition. Has been a while here on My Cowboys Family since we've done this, but I thought this was extra important to the channel because we've been talking about this for some time here on My Cowboys Family. Oh yeah, breaking news here, and I think we made a big upgrade at backup quarterback. We'll talk about that here in a minute, guys. As always, on My Cowboys Family, hit that like, hit subscribe if you're new to this channel, hit the notification bell so you know we're going live, and we do this on the nightly. This is just a bonus today. Some breaking news hit. Cowboys are on top of it. Front office got to get some credit here. I love what's going down. So, hey, as the song runs its course, as you can see, breaking news here. Dallas Cowboys, they trade for former third overall pick in the NFL draft a couple of years ago from the 49ers. Trey Lance is now a Cowboy. Oh, yeah. Let's open it up. I'm here with you guys. It's a quickie here. Again, get in your comments, get in your thoughts. Everybody in the house, make sure you hit that like. It's not going to be like our usual stuff. That'll be tonight on MCF. I do want to hit your comments up, but first let me tell you what's going down. It's, since it is very, very recent and very breaking, so to speak, I guess. And we were talking about this all. I hate to toot our horn, but guys, did we not talk about Trey? I talked about Trey Lance in the offseason. A lot of people laughed at me. I said this would be a great guy for a backup scenario for Dak Prescott and for the future if the Cowboys want to go a different route. I'm just saying this is the way I've been saying this, for a lot of players on this team. If you want to make a move on somebody and not sure if you're going to sign them or whatever it may be, guess what? Make sure you have somebody in that spot that can at least scare them a little bit. And I say this like in the Zach Martin situation. I mean, how are you going to negotiate with Zach Martin when you have no other than Tyler Smith, who is primed one day soon to play tackle? What are you making Zach Martin not want to hold out for? You guys, if you understand what I'm saying when he's getting underpaid by $7 million a year. So that's an example of bad management. Now this could be a great deal for the Cowboys, and the way I see this is not even whether or not Trey Lance pans out or not. It is a way of kind of securing a player for your depth. That's an upgrade for what you have now. So the report just broke a little while ago, 15 minutes ago. The Niners decided to trade away their third string quarterback. That's right. Remember, we talked about this last night 2 nights ago on My Cowboys Family. Sam Darnold was named the backup to Brock Purdy, which meant Trey Lance was number 3. And we discussed this 2 nights ago. I said, it'd be nice if the Cowboys take a look at this. Maybe they're offering a great deal for us to pick up a Trey Lance, who's a value pick, worth it for the right trade price, So the Niners today decided to move from Trey Lance, like you heard here in MCF, to the Dallas Cowboys. Now he's been traded to the Cowboys in exchange for a 4th round pick. An overall 3rd rounder to the Cowboys as a 4th round pick because they have 2 other really decent quarterbacks. Okay. I mean, Sam Darnold's never going to be that great in my opinion, but very solid number 2. And Brock Purdy's their guy, right? Trey Lance, injury, I know 1 year, then he had, he ups and downs, but, I think there's a high ceiling for this guy. And we don't know what we got here yet when it comes to Trey Lance working into McCarthy's Texas Coast offense as our backup. I think this basically gets Will Grier cut. Sorry, Will, if you're listening, but Will Grier is not going to make this team now. This will be at least our 3rd quarterback. We know he's making this team. If they made a trade, Trey Lance is making the team. So he's our number 2. You can almost count that. And then Cooper Rush might be our 3rd, hybrid, roster spot quarterback that can still have that new rule now puts the 3rd quarterback in kind of an emergency situation. If you lose your 1st and 2nd guy, then the 3rd one can come in. That'd be Cooper Rush now, which I'm fine with that as our number 3. As long as Trey Lance can adapt to the McCarthy, easier to understand Texas Coast offense. All right, so I'll get to the chat here in a minute, guys. Keep hitting the comments down there, the like, subscribe, notification bell. So, again, let's look at Trey Lance for a minute. He's been with the Niners for the last 2 years after being selected 3rd, not in the 3rd round, the 1st round, the 3rd overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. He lost the backup quarterback spot, as I just said earlier in the week, to Sam Darnold. And if you look at what the Niners had to do to go get Trey Lance, they gave up again, they had to go up there. The Niners had to go up there to get Trey Lance with the 3rd overall pick. In 2021, I'm sorry, they gave up the 2021 first-round pick, their 2022 first-round pick, their 2022 third-round pick, and their 2023 first-round pick. Those are the 4 picks they gave up to get the 3rd overall pick in the first round in 2021. Yeah. The Niners blew that one bad, and then we get the fallout from this. Now, is he a bad player? From what I've seen, no, he's not. Is he ready to go yet? No, he's not. But he is a guy that has a high ceiling. I think he could have still a future. And he's still young, guys. I mean, he's his 3rd year in the league. So right now, a guy 3 years removed, I guess, now from the number 1 pick of the overall draft. I guess, 2 years removed from that. He's with us now. Everybody wanted a quarterback to scare Dak. Well, here you go, guys. Here you got your wish. Although I still think Dak is by far. I hope this don't start a quarterback controversy. Dak is by far much better than Trey Lance. But Trey Lance is a guy that truly can be a Mike McCarthy quarterback whispering situation there for the future. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Part of this deal, of course. What's the reasoning for this? The true reason is because Will Grier did not pan out for us this year. That's the real reason, guys. McCarthy did not get the guy he was trying to kind of groom to be the next kind of takeover guy. That's not him. It's not Will Grier. And McCarthy saw this, and we saw this. Last year he's progressing. I think this year he took a step back. I think this makes Will Grier highly expendable. He's pretty much off the team. I think Cooper Rush, you're not going to just let him go, but I do think that he, could be in danger, but I do think that he's probably a solid third quarterback on our team, depth chart wise. There's no reason why we should let Cooper Rush go. So again, the Niners sending their former 3rd overall pick, Trey Lance, to the Cowboys for basically a mid-round, for a Dak Prescott pick. Think about that. We got Dak with a compensatory pick in the 4th round of 2016, and this is basically in 2023, a 4th round. We're giving up a future, I'm assuming 2024, 4th round compensatory pick or a current pick, hopefully really at the end of the of each round, because we do well this year, if you know what I mean. If we do that, that pick is basically a day 3, mid-day 3 pick. Let's just put it that way. Basically an early 5th rounder is what you're giving up there, guys. He gets a fresh start in Dallas as a backup to Dak Prescott. I personally give this an A+. I know a lot of people are surprised. I've seen Jane Slater. She's surprised. She was blindsided by this. If you guys have been on MCF and been listening, is anyone surprised about this? I mean, I'm a little surprised as well that the Cowboys even did this, but are you guys surprised if you've been listening to our channel that, hey, I've heard this before. I've heard MCF say this. Have you been one of the people that said, MCF, you're stupid. We're never going to give up what it takes to get a Trey Lance. Well, there you go. Cowboys are working the phones and did a great job, I think. Again, with him now coming to the 53, he's on the 53, guys. There's no way he's not going to be on it. This makes the Saturday kind of game, which we're going to talk about that, a little more in detail tonight. We have a preview coming for you guys tonight with the upcoming Raider game for tomorrow night. But that game now, it's going to be interesting because McCarthy said that Will Grier is going to get most of the snaps. Interesting. Not that Trey Lance is going to take snaps, but I'm just saying it's interesting that Will Grier, if you know who's your 3rd, then why are you playing? What's the use of playing Will Grier? I don't know. Practice squad, give him a chance somewhere else. Basically, giving 31 other teams a chance to evaluate Will Grier off of this Saturday night game. So, I think again, Cowboys are getting a very talented quarterback for a very low price and a chance to develop him into, future Dak Prescott. Some people don't like that, but that's what we're talking about here. That's a good move by the Cowboys. Smart way to kind of cheaply take a chance on, right? On an investment, on an outside shot of a quarterback for the future. That's a fucking great, to me, it's a no-brainer. No-brainer. And the only people that are going to probably complain about this, and no offense to the people that love Dak. I love Dak. But those are the people that get a little worried now. The thing that bothers me is hearing the BS of, now Trey Lance is better than Dak. That's BS. That's just Dak hating. But I think they're looking at this in a real way. This is a great chance to improve the team depth-wise. We just got ourselves, I think, a solid quarterback that could be a quarterback for the future. High expectations in the past. Now that weight is off his shoulders to some extent. And, he was supposed to play in the game for the 49ers tonight against the Chargers. Trey Lance was supposed to be out there showing. Well, now he's not playing. Obviously, he's going to the Cowboys. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow to hear McCarthy or to see who the Cowboys decide to put on that field. I'm curious to know. And again, I don't have the information right now. Tonight we will discuss this here on My Cowboys Family. But I'm curious to know if the Cowboys are going to take a chance now, maybe throw in a little Trey Lance, or is it too early to get into the system, right? The Cowboys system is just takes it's going to take a little bit of time to get him to acclimated to the Cowboys play calling and the plays that we have running and the verbiage and all that good stuff. So I think it's going to be something that he's just kind of a project for a little bit down the line, if in the year itself. But he's definitely obviously making the 53-man roster here for the Cowboys. And again, guys, I'm for it. I know some people will be like, well, don't put pressure on Dak. Well, no, maybe that's exactly what Dak needs. Just a little pressure. And is this really a lot of pressure? I mean, it's Trey Lance. He's not going to necessarily come in there and take over. He's not coming in there at all to take over the top spot. He's there to get Will Grier out of there. That's an upgrade for this offense. It's an upgrade for the backups and the depth of our, of our quarterback room. And, hey, I always harken back to Troy Aikman, right? Remember that 1-15 season he had? He had Steve Walsh right there. Got the only one win that year was Steve Walsh. But, in their first camp together, these are two, basically, first rounders, rookies, and question marks going forward even after that first year. Now, Trey Lance, a lot of question marks for him. But now you got, Dak, who's the solid teacher now, and you have Trey Lance, who's now, I think, will fit great into the scheme of McCarthy with the quick throws. 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, you break the pocket. I think Trey Lance is going to fit this offense as well. And if anything, knock on wood, ever happens to Dak Prescott, if that's needed by week 5, week 10, whatever, I think Trey Lance will be at least ready enough by then to kind of steady the ship better than Cooper Rush ever could, and put up numbers, making an effective offense using the similar system without kind of vanillaing it all the way down to its roots like we did last year and just got by on offense. I think we could actually stay at, not just get by, we can stay at the same level for at least a couple of weeks if Trey Lance knows the system, knows the plays, and can work himself in it, right? So I think people should not be scared about getting better on this team. It's not to me, it's far from a threat from Dak. It is a threat maybe when you look at the contract for Dak, but I don't care about contracts. I care about right now. And people that get nervous about this, again, you need that competition back there. I think why not throw it back there and let's just, let's see Dak, how he teaches the new guy. Let's see how the new guy can maybe grow from his experiences in San Francisco. This was the whole point for me. So I spoke about this in the offseason, guys. You can go back and check our videos. I spoke about this and I said in detail why this would be a positive thing for the team, for the quarterback room, for Dak Prescott, for the Cowboys. And if Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones decide to not sign Dak again or extend him, if Trey Lance is working outish, that is a bargaining chip for the Joneses finally to have one when they never really had one for any players in the past, and they just look like a bunch of schmuckos. So I think it's a great move. I think that it's an improvement to the team, and I do want to know what all 85 plus of you are saying right now. We'll be discussing this in a lot more detail tonight. I know the wife will be joining me for that later on. Maybe right now, actually, guys. Give me a second.
I'm sorry. I had to make a surprise appearance here. I know.
Well, give me a minute here because I got to get you on the screen, baby.
True, right now.
We got to get your VTuber up on here. Yeah, you're just like a voice out there, right?
Well, that's what happens when the Cowboys start making moves right when I decide to hop in the shower.
What do you,
Jerry, plan your life a little better around mine. I don't know what you're doing. Just saying. But yes, holy shit. Just saying, it's just nice to see. Honestly, to me, it's just the aggressive type of moves that the Cowboys are making. I mean, I'm sorry. I have not seen this franchise so energized. And maybe because it's coming off the heels of the show that we were watching right before I hopped in the shower, which showed the very strong argument in our draft room for Mossy.
And that's on Roku, by the way, if you're wondering. That draft show.
Shout out to Raymond and Emily for subbing it up. They're Andy and Boogie. Member for 11 months in that navy blue. Shout out to you. Much love. He said, go Cowboys fan for life.
I mean, much love to you, NDM Boogie. Appreciate you as always. Go Cowboys. Mark to 77 point. I haven't shouted anybody out on the boards because we're doing that tonight. There's just more of a breaking news kind of discussion, news kind of information kind of segment here to give you this breaking news to me. I don't know, baby. Again, I guess we got to. I was about to hit the chat, but I wanted to know kind of, again, I love the fact that you brought up the one thing I didn't bring up, which was that the Cowboys front office have not been that aggressive, really, or when they've been aggressive, they've done it stupidly. They've done it with, I was trying to say there was no like rhyme and reason, whether it was DeMarcus Lawrence, the way they handled that, the way they handled some of the contracts with Randy Gregory even, or other people this year. It's been always up and down all around. But with this, they finally made an aggressive move, I think, starting with Brandon Cooks, with Gilmore, with Trey Lance. I think it's a great high ceiling, low risk, high reward move.
Now, I will say, I know that it still kind of leaves the question of, okay, are we still going to do something about the offensive line? Because I know that's still kind of, I'm just saying, like, I know that's still a big question for a lot of people. And two, which at least for me, this was one of my initial kind of questions. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder how that's going to affect some of the behind the scenes contract negotiations. Not in a bad way, just in a, like, does that pause that conversation for a little bit Allow the Cowboys to maybe focus on other things, other contracts that they're trying to get done? I was saying,
I think this obviously cuts off Will Grier. Cooper Rush is now our 3, in my opinion, eventually. Right now he starts off as a 2, but as Lance knows the system a little better, that's the projection. He'll be the number 3. I mean, the number 2, and Cooper will fall 3. I also saying, well, how are they going to look? He was supposed to play tonight, Trey Lance. Yeah. He's now the Cowboy. Will he play tomorrow? We heard today McCarthy spoke and said that Trey Lance said that Will Grier's going to handle most of the snaps. Does that mean Trey Lance gets some of those, or is that Cooper Rush? A lot of questions to be answered on that side. Yeah. But to me, aggressive move by the Cowboys, and I think it's just a matter of why not get this guy? You never know. He's a 3rd overall pick. I mean, I didn't think we'd get him for a 4th rounder. Mm-hmm. We're giving him basically a late 4th rounder. I said an early 5th. I mean, this is a steal to me. If he fails, all right, well, we would have risked the quarterback at that spot. And this is 2 years away from his rookie year. I think it's a great deal for the Cowboys.
Just throwing this out there, at least from the Cowboys front office perspective, clearly whatever our backup quarterback situation was not tenable for Mike McCarthy. He was not okay with just having backup QB situation there. So I'm just saying that we saw it happen last year. Yes, we were able to keep the wheels on, but like by the skin of our teeth. I think the Cowboys want a little bit more leeway in a situation like that,
because
no guarantee. I do not think this guy is coming in here and challenging Dak in any way other than, again, just slowing down the contract extension discussions. I don't think it impacts them in any other way other than we're busy doing this right now. Give us a little bit of time, Dak. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it is not going to be like. It does not impact Dak's contract anything further than that.
Well, so, I just think it has to. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, and I'm going to hit up the chat here in a minute.
Trey Lance, he'd have to show himself to do good, right? A lot of people are not liking this trade. People think Cooper Rush is better. And at this point, I'd say on this team, at this moment, yes. But I think the potential is over with Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
we know
Cooper
he's going to be.
We've said this before. Right. Cooper Rush fit Kellen Moore's offense. Mike McCarthy is bringing a few changes.
But still, Cooper Rush looked good. He's not looked bad out there. I think he's done great. The thing is, he's not going to get any better. And I think the whole mindset of this from the Joneses to bring a guy in who can learn from Dak, fits the system better.
Potential to grow from there.
Yeah, and fits the system better than, let's say, Cooper Rush would overall. And maybe, as for the future, yes, the future. That's what you say about I think that, but if Trey Lance don't show up and he plays like crap, you know what? Then you're gonna then Dak has all the leverage again if you're talking about that deal, which again, like you said, could be paused, could be just on the back burner. I do think this is partially a way for the Cowboys to protect themselves in negotiations with Dak, because if Trey Lance a number 3 overall, that's what you got to keep saying. That's what the Joneses are going to keep saying to Dak, number 3 overall.
And you bet your ass that's the first thing we're going to hear out of Eddie Jones's mouth when they mention it.
Yeah, they're going to use that as the So this is just, but I like it because it makes it a little bit more even in negotiations. With when you don't have any backup plan at all, Cooper Rush your backup plan. You're like Zach Martin. Who is your backup plan? TJ Bass? I'm just saying, like, this is where the Joneses do bad business moves. This is at least proper. You see a guy with potential for a good deal, you take a risk and you roll the dice.
Yep. And yes, guys, this is not bullshit. This is absolutely for real. Breaking news: the Dallas Cowboys did trade a 4th round pick to the 49ers.
Right, a future 4th rounder for a former 3rd overall pick. But again, I think people are like maybe thinking that we're like too excited about this, whatever it is. I think this is a change in the way that the Joneses have done their philosophy in the past years.
Yeah, so let me hit up the chat.
I think this is a big deal in the sense of the way that the organization seems to want to go. Yeah. It's bigger for that than it is for the player at this moment, in my opinion.
I'm being honest too. This is like my initial cold, like, these
cold
are my
thoughts,
initial thoughts, right? So
we'll
I'm
talk
sure
a lot
once
more
we
tonight.
let it simmer, I'm sure once we get a few other opinions and kind of think about it a little more, we might feel maybe a little differently, maybe more, maybe less of the same.
Some people love this, some people hate this, some people think Trey Lance is horrible, some people think, thank goodness, we got a little help in the quarterback room.
Yeah, to me, like I said, I'm a big fan of it. I like the aggressiveness. I don't think it takes away from the fact that we still need some help at like one or two other spots, but I don't think the Cowboys think that either. So real quick, Stone Immaculate said they'll use Lance in plays this season. Kenzie Band said, can he play tomorrow? I think he still needs a little bit more processing, but I don't think he can play tomorrow. And even if he could, that's not a good idea. Justin Crowell's Q-Man said, great points. Thank you. Skeptical fan said, A for effort. But I don't know about that. So Presley Mitchell, much love. And again, guys, we do our best. We usually aren't ones to do the whole live breaking news thing, but we really wanted to touch base on this one, and we had the opportunity and the ability, so we shifted a few things around, and obviously I ran out of the shower as fast as I could there. So real quick, Quan said, if not, oh well, we wasted a pick on worst. Think of Taco Charlton.
Exactly.
Right? So like this is like, considering the price you paid for it, it actually is a good move. Now, Papa's Boys, I like what he said, too. He said, Trey never really had a quarterback to push for his job, and neither did Romo. The competition is good at every position. It gets you off your ass. You step up or lose your job. I love it.
It's the fear of saying, look, Dak can say, well, what has Trey Lance done? Trey Lance, guys, has, I think he's played a total of 8 games in the NFL. Okay. So 8 games, Dak is going to laugh. It's going to scoff at that. Dak is an Iron Man playing every, you know what I'm saying? So it's not going to work as much as maybe some of us may think, but that is the fewest amount of games played by a top 5 pick with the team he debuted with since the common draft ever in 1967, which means to me that this is like the Cowboys almost drafting him. Think of him like as a 4th round pick right now. We got Trey Lance. We drafted him with next year's 4th round pick. That's a good chance I would take. Is my point. It's a good deal.
So, Quan also brought up, you do realize the kid's 23. We can help improve his game. 808 Cowboy Bird Killer said Trey's replacing Greer for now and maybe Rush in the future. Exactly. Like as he improves.
Yes. Baby, I've been saying this you've heard me. Some people call me stupid. I've been saying this would be a great pick for a great deal for the Cowboys. Justin
Quarles said that Trey's backing up exactly what you said. Trey's ceiling is higher than Cooper Rush's in the long term.
Easy.
So just coming in now,
he
easily replaces Greer.
Easily.
Baseline. On top of that, like you said, give him a little while to get percolate a little back there.
Let's see him get used to stuff.
Eventually replace Cooper Rush.
That's what the Cowboys are trading him for. Think about that. And for that possibility of that bigger jump.
Yeah. And Presley Mitchell, I know you weren't here, but long story short, Overshown is more of a depth guy, even though he was going to be kind of a cool key piece there. But his duties are being split amongst some of the defensive backs, mainly the safeties.
Looks like Marquise Bell might be taking a lot more snaps there.
They're the ones who are doing that. So thank you so much, SnugX.
You know who he is, by the way.
Dollar Holler. He is the sponsor of the week, the Cash App King. Put some respect on that name. SnugX said,
why he's here.
My Cowboys Family tonight at 11 p.m.
Yes.
Central time. For those of you guys there in that Texas time zone.
Usually East Coast, midnight-ish or a little later. So.
Yes, and in particular tonight, we're definitely aiming for a midnight start time just because obviously we did take a little break last night, and we have quite a bit of news to talk about, not just in the regular, our Cowboys practicing, doing their preseason thing, but look at, So, obviously, our front office is doing a few different things, right? They have their hands in a few different pots. Yeah, I'm going to keep hitting up a few more comments, and then we are going to wrap it up here just because in order to
be able to go live later tonight. I do want to hear everyone's comments, though.
No,
I got a comment, too, about
this. And if you're watching this, obviously, afterwards, drop comments in the comment section down below. We will be reading them.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, we try to hit as many comments as we can. And we'll probably have a poll, for our stream later tonight. But look, the final breakdown of this 49ers trade for Trey Lance in 2021, it cost them the 12th round pick in the 2021 draft. Do you know who was picked at that spot in the 12th round? I mean, the 12th pick in the first round of the 2021 draft. Do you know who was that guy? Micah Parsons. That pick, I know we traded back and got that one, which was owned by who? The Eagles or the Giants or something? But
it's all coming together.
But the point is, that pick from the Giants originally came from the Niners. Mm-hmm. So that was a Niner pick. We got Micah Parsons. It's the same draft. We got Trey Lance now. Then in that 2022 draft, first round, pick 29 in the first round. It cost them pick 12, which you got Micah Parsons. Pick 29, Cole Strange was picked there. In round 3, pick 101, Channing Tindall, and in 2022. And in 2023, the first round pick 29, Brian Brees. Oh, and you know what they got back for all of that? 4th-round pick from the Dallas Cowboys. I'd take that. I'll take that if I'm the Cowboys. So, I'm sorry, hit it up.
I like a lot of the comments. So, again, there are a few people, obviously, sad Cowboy fan, John Wiggins, a handful of other people who are kind of saying, like, this is, no, like, they're fans of it because they're fans of the competition and the pressure it puts on Dak. They really like Lance. They're like, this is the type of stuff Dak kind of gets, Some other people are on the other side. In support said we should just give the Niners a lollipop for Lance, which, it was, again, in the sense that it was a great value for us. Yeah, I'm assuming. I agree. South Texas, another good point, saying Dak has zero worries about this trade. Lance has a small sample size. He's a developmental project.
Correct.
Skeptical fan said, I am shocked. Sad Cowboy fan said, A+. Wow.
I think it's a great acquisition. Whatever happens, we don't know. You can't lose on a 3rd overall pick quarterback that you kind of made the quarterback room automatically better, assuming wise, right?
Paid for him. If it doesn't work out, it's all good.
Small sample size. A guy who, whether he couldn't play or he just didn't get the opportunities, whatever it is. He now has a new chance here with the Cowboys to show he could be a number 2. Let's see what he can do there. Now, a guy. Some people are confused. I understand. I've been saying this since the middle of since the offseason about why we should get a guy like this who can kind of maybe push Dak. Definitely better than Cooper Rush, and as far as on the field though, knock on wood. Number 1, Dak is healthy all year, but you don't see him to playing with the Cowboys until maybe 2025. At the earliest, as a starter for the Cowboys. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah, it's not like a Dak situation where, like, oh, guess what? He's starting for us next week.
Right.
Like, that's not what's happening.
If there's a blowout in a game, you might see Trey Lance in the game. If there's a game, of course, knock on wood, Dak gets injured, you'll see him in the game. If none of those things happen in the next 2 years, because of the money or because of the talent, whatever it may be, Dak will always be the starter. Keep that in mind. Everybody that hates Dak, this is not going to make a difference. Now, if we get to 2025 and the Cowboys didn't pay and give Dak an extension, then Trey Lance now will be the player that they are now. I'm assuming by then they're going to have to probably say, this is our guy now going forward.
I'm going to borrow some words that I recently heard from Will McClay, and to paraphrase, Trey Lance helps us in the short term, and he helps us in the long term. So... Anyway, we're going to touch on that a little bit more tonight. I know you have like one more thing before we kind of wrap it up here on our side of things, right, baby?
Yeah, I hit up a couple last comments as well, if you can. I'm sure there's a lot of people talking. I do want to make sure I hit up every possible quick thing here.
I know, Cam DCFL said, San Francisco's clowning us right now, so
you think so?
He's not a fan.
Okay, I want to hear the bad as well.
There were a few people kind of just saying that, like, you guys basically just got duped into taking out San Francisco's trash for a 4th-round pick. Like, basically, they're about to kick them to the curb anyway. We just paid premium price for Garbaggio. Again, I personally don't feel that way. Obviously, I think the 49ers were in a slightly different position where he did kind of feel like bloat, but that's just because they kind of had a Dak Prescott-ish situation where a guy that they didn't expect to be as good as he was ended up being much better. And holy shit. So now I'm just saying, like, they just decided to take things in a slightly different direction than they initially
Trey Lance
planned.
has been called a bust, right? He got passed up by Brock Purdy, who was obviously a surprise player, and Sam Darnold even passed him up for, whatever the reason there. I said this last night as well, 2 nights ago. Shanahan has not found a way to use Trey Lance. That could be a problem with the player. That's why I was saying maybe there's some pause there.
Cactus G basically said if Kyle Shanahan can't make him work, then he must suck.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Did they see something that they say, okay, this guy, if Sam Darnold beats him, they're like, okay, you got to get out of here. Like, that's the way they felt, and he was just a waste and a bust. From their side, that very well could be true. Now, I just want to say one other thing. If McCarthy works things differently, I'm not saying Shanahan's not a better overall offensive mind, but McCarthy might be able to find the skill set package that works best for him, like for the offense if he has to go in there.
I'm going to say the thing that, is maybe not the greatest thing to hear, but is the reality. I think that Mike McCarthy can find a way to make Trey Lance a Dallas Cowboys system quarterback in the sense that, he maybe won't work anywhere outside of Dallas right here, right now, under this specific set of circumstances, but guess what? It fucking works, right? I think that's what they're going for in this scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do think, like you guys said, it's not like I don't think the guy's completely uncoachable. There's still potential there. But I just like I said, I just like the aggressiveness, and I do like the pressure of just somebody maybe breathing a little bit down Dak's back. Not because I think that he's actually challenging him, but because I agree with the general concept
just
of
the third
competition
overall
is healthy.
and the third overall guy. Look, here's the thing. The Cowboys have acquired him now. Listen to this. Here's the thing. I want to. By the way, it was a 2024, like I said, 4th round pick. Yeah. The Cowboys have total control of his contract until 2025 when he turns 26 years old. This year, he's only a $940,000 cap hit. All right. Next year, he jumps to a $6.25 million cap hit. That's more than Cooper Rush. That's like triple more than Cooper Rush. So I think the Cowboys, just looking at that, the Cowboys have to kind of make a decision. Yeah, they got to make a decision if they want to. If this guy has shown enough in this season as a backup in our system, it's like I feel we're trading a 4th round pick. If he shows even a little bit, the Cowboys will probably take the hit. In 2025, remember the 5th year option right now is going to change, but that's going to be a set price for a quarterback in the 1st round. It's at least $11.5 million.
Yeah, so at that point, they would have to make a serious decision to either invest in a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Which that's honestly, I guess nowadays in quarterback numbers, that's not as hefty an investment, but it does say a statement, right? So
listen, when you look at the overall thing, the Cowboys spent a 4th rounder, a 5th rounder, another 5th rounder, and added, and again, we ended up getting Brandon Cooks, Stephon Gilmore, and Trey Lance, a top 10 pick. That's the way you spend day 3 picks, in my opinion.
Before I roll it back and touch on a few comments.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Tip your hat for the Don.
The Don is in the house.
The Don Smith. First of all, huge shout out to you, man. Everyone collectively, let's all say fuck cancer. But fuck Ron cancer. The Don Smith in the star level membership.
And in 2nd place on the overall board, much
and
love.
Some perfect timing there because, I can tell you what might be happening next week.
Yeah. We'll discuss that tonight on MCF as we always do. On a Fan Friday, by the way.
Yes, huge shout out to you, Ron the Don. Again,
back really where he belongs, right here in MCF and right here in the star level member.
Now, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, to hit up a few more comments here. I'm just going to go bam, 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 and then we'll touch on all of them here in a second. Dean Graham said, only thing Dallas really needs is Reisner. Roster stacked besides the O-line and kicker. And don't forget a little asterisk at tight end, just because. Because there's still a lot of questions.
Linebacker depth, question mark, as another one, maybe?
Maybe. Like I said, so tight end, linebacker get asterisk. Everything else, kicker. Agree. Cam DCFL said he played like shit last game. Quan said, give Trey a couple years to develop with our people. If he doesn't improve by then exactly. Joke's on us. Yeah. Raymond Emily Jones said, Trey can play. You guys will see it very quick. Kyle wants a certain type of QB. Justin Curl's a Q-man. He's like, I live in 49ers territory, and half the 49ers base thinks that Shanahan can't develop quarterbacks, and they blame him, not Trey.
So keep that in mind.
Peach said Mike McCarthy's also the QB
yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, the fact that Shanahan's maybe the better overall play caller, but McCarthy knows the quarterback better and develops them better. Yeah. That is a situation I think we're seeing from a Will Grier, who, listen, Will Grier was a 4th round pick for the Panthers. He was. I'm just trying to say, you're developing a guy who's a 4th round start talent DNA to a 1st round talent DNA, 3rd overall pick. Yeah. To me, McCarthy's going to have a much bigger, higher upside with someone like Trey Lance than someone with Will Grier.
Yeah, and
that's the switch.
And Cactus G, I think at least on my side, this is probably going to be the final little point I read. Baby, I'll let you say one more thing, and after that, I'm going to go back to
our family life.
I literally ran out of the shower, dried off, got dressed, ran out of here. So, what was I? Cactus G, there we go. He said, what makes anyone think McCarthy will be here long enough to develop him? I personally think that the types of moves that the Cowboys have allowed McCarthy to make, the type of freedom they're giving him, that doesn't give me the same energy as desperate last stand. That gives me, I'm planting roots energy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I think that the Cowboys feel good about McCarthy running the ship. They like the way he's doing it. He obviously works really well with our front office. He's only getting more involved as time goes on, and the team is getting more successful. It's not that's not a coincidence. That's because of that symbiotic relationship we've seen happening over the last few years McCarthy's been here. So short of us completely shitting the bed this year, I don't see how we're not seeing McCarthy just, make himself even more right at home, right in Texas.
Breaking news.
That's just my thoughts.
A little breaking news as well. Will Grier today, according to what the Cowboys are saying, they spoke to Will Grier before this deal for Trey Lance was made public, and he's been told he's not going to be on the team going forward, Will Grier. But since he is slated to play tomorrow, like I said earlier, he's going to play against the Raiders tomorrow night. That's going to be his farewell. Try to give him a chance to get on some other teams. So the Cowboys have made the decision on their 3 quarterbacks: Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance. And we got Rhonda Don
Smith.
Smith.
Audition tape.
Yeah, but hey, I called this was to replace Will Greer, not initially. That's what his goal is. Like you said, for the future, we'll see. Like you said with Mozzie.
They're not going to switch out Cooper Rush just now, right?
Yeah.
But real quick, Ron, the Don Smith, huge shout out to you with the $10 holler.
He got a Cooper Rush on it right there.
That's right. He said, I love the trade. I believe he will be better than Will Greer. Boom, already done. Maybe light a fire under Cooper Rush and Dak.
Yeah, I agree 100% there. And again, if he can play
if he can play to trajectory goes
if he can play to where, if McCarthy can develop and he's not a bust, then we have that chance to see that. If not, then Dak still has the control and the power there, but it is a new wrinkle now. And that's what you need to throw in there sometimes. Take a chance. Low risk, high upside. In my opinion, it's a great deal from our Cowboys.
There we go. And Dwayne Broussard said hello and hi with a $2.
Ooh, the top dog.
Holler coming through saying go Cowboys. Thank you, Dwayne. Much love. Let us know, by the way, guys. Yes, as I read these final kind of bits and bobs and comments here, let us know your thoughts. Again, if you're watching this afterwards, drop your comments in the comment section down below. But we will be live later tonight around 12 p.m. Eastern. Adjust for your time zone. Discussing this, all the other Dallas Cowboy details, practice, all the other, NFL news and little updates and things like that.
Practice from yesterday. Stuff, we're going to talk about a couple quotes here and there.
But as we head
there
out
it is.
Dwayne
Broussard, the top dog, $2 holler on the board now. I think he's 8th on the board. Rhonda Don, he's 2nd on the board. And I think right now, who's controlling that stream boss here? Mr. Dwayne Broussard puts that J-Lou too. We got some J-Lou.
I think Marco Seppian, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 59 points up on that stream boss. I wanted to say one last thing, though, about the... Well, you made a question, like a comment about McCarthy. Someone made a comment in the chat. Like, McCarthy might only be here one more year. Very true. But so might Trey Lance, and I don't mean that like in a
just because of his contract.
Well, because of the contract, and because listen, by this year, I think the Cowboys are already going to know somewhat is Trey Lance the guy that can that's showing that stock of a 3rd overall pick.
Yeah, they're not going to wait 2-3 years.
Yeah.
To see if he's going to maybe work out. He either looks good this year and does what the Cowboys want him to do, or see what they want to see, and they go ahead and say, sure, okay, you can stay, or he's gone.
And I think that's going to come from McCarthy's side of things to the Jones, and then they if they stays or doesn't stay, one more year from McCarthy.
Gets fired. Why is he making decisions about next year?
Yeah, no, I think I agree, but I think Trey Lance is going to be a guy that Jerry Jones, they had a lot of interest in him in that draft in 2021. So the Cowboys got somebody that they really had a lot of interest in and got a chance to get him for a 4th round pick instead of 3rd overall. That in itself is worth it now. It's about $6 million next year and $11 million after that. That's true. This year, though, it's an easy developmental year for him. You have a 4th rounder. We're going to get like 2 or 3 comp picks back next year. At least 2 or 3 comp picks back. One of those is going to be in the 4th round. So we're getting our pick back for this. So we're not really even wasting a pick in a way. We are, but we're not. If you guys feel me, the way the Cowboys are looking at it, we're giving away a pick. We're going to have another pick in that same spot, in that same radius, for a guy that can give us our future quarterback, to replace Dak in 2-3 years. I think that's the way the Cowboys are looking at this. As Mozzie Smith, exactly what you said, like the draft show, and like we've seen Will McClay say, Mozzie's a guy who helps us now in the run stop, and in the future in the pass rush. That's kind of, you look at Trey Lance helps us now by getting Will Greer, and helps in the future possibly by putting pressure on Dak and others, and maybe being the guy one day. Who knows, right?
And thank you so much,
newest
Ramon
subscriber
and Emily
here.
Jones.
Yes.
Appreciate you dropping that $2 holler there. You know what they had to say?
I gotta hear
Great
it.
trade. I can't wait to see Trey ball out. And again,
I don't think we're going to see him this year at all. Even in preseason game tomorrow, I hope he's out there. I don't see any way he can do it. Yeah, he won't be out there because it's too much to learn in such little time.
Look, I'm willing to put my chips in the he surpasses Cooper Rush much sooner than you expect.
Agree. Basket,
personally, especially if that's something that is a vested interest for McCarthy, which I personally do think it is. We've all kind of said it. We all kind of see it. Again, Cooper Rush got us through. He got us by. But he got us by with Kellen Moore. I do think with the new kind of Mike McCarthy-styled offensive system we're going to have, Trey Lance is going to be just fine. I don't think he's going to look as good as Dak, obviously.
Yeah, no way.
When I say that I do think he will surpass Cooper Rush very quickly, I put my whole chest in that one.
I agree. I mean, we know Cooper Rush's ceiling. We don't know Trey Lance's ceiling at all. 8 games in the NFL.
So now Scorpio sees it a little differently. He said the end goal is actually to get rid of Dak. Dak's going to be over $40 million. Trey Lance is going to be under 10 in the future.
again, 2025, the Dak's signed through 2024. 2025, now Trey Lance gets 11 plus million. The Cowboys obviously will have an idea already what they're going to do. I'm assuming after this season with Dak Prescott. And Trey Lance, whatever he shows, will be very important this year. And again, I'm saying in practice. Again, you're not going to even see this guy wearing a Cowboy star on his helmet on the field playing any snaps in the regular season unless it's a blowout or, God forbid, Dak gets hurt.
Yeah,
so
if we're 3 QBs deep, we got bigger problems.
Yeah. And again, I agree with you, though. By the time anything we might need Trey Lance, he's going to be the backup at that point, not the third stringer. Yep. I think he'll bypass Cooper Rush already. But in the game time scenario, if it's early on, you might see Cooper Rush first, right? So you might even see Trey Lance till next year or 2025. In preseason, yes, next year, but not even this year in preseason. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, he spent a lot of time getting to know Trey Lance prior to the draft, prior to the 2021 draft, because he was Jacksonville's passing game coordinator, and they selected Trevor Lawrence over Trey Lance. Right, he was number 1 overall, Trevor Lawrence. Trey Lance was number 3 overall, and Schottenheimer knew a lot about Trey Lance. He must have thrown in a couple of his, scouting thoughts, as well as the Cowboys, Will McClay and Chris Hall. They also scouted Trey Lance a lot. They liked him a lot. So again, to me, this is there's a lot of things the Cowboys liked already from their own scouts. Brian Schottenheimer brought over some other stuff that they kind of picked his brain about, and they liked it as well. Do you guys think he is better than Will Grier? And the answer to me is a no-brainer yes. He's not McCarthy's, quarterback whisperer development guy anymore. It is Trey Lance is that guy now for Mike McCarthy. That's the facts here to this thing. As far as Dak in the future, challenging him, ways away from that. Got 2 more years of Dak no matter what. If in 2 years Trey Lance has been developed to the point where he can start some NFL games, that's what they're getting him ready for in case Dak is not here with an extension after 2024. Then he'll hit the cap for 2025 for $11 million for Trey Lance. And it's either that or pay Dak $55 million, right, in that range. So to me, it's a great pickup for the Cowboys. I don't know if he's going to get number 5, though, baby, because that's Brian Anger's number, right? Number 5.
Yeah, it is.
So I think 15. Again, we're not going to have Will Grier anymore, so
yeah.
I think 15 might be his new number. So, we'll get you more information tonight, guys, as we always do here at My Cowboys Family. It's one of these fantastic, breaking news situations where I think whatever happens to Trey Lance, no matter what, I think is a great risk, high reward, low risk, high reward. And I do think it's a very good move for the Cowboy front office on a lot of different fronts.
Like I said, that extra sprinkling of whipped cream and cherries on top, in the sense that it still feels like an aggressive move.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
You can't.
It's an aggressive, but still, it's funny, baby. It is an aggressive move, but it's a safe aggressive move.
Yeah.
I think it's a very safe move to give up a 4th rounder. It's an aggressive move because you're getting a 3rd overall pick. It's a win-win for the Cowboys across the board on these fronts, and as a challenge in the future for Dak possibly, right? And Cooper Rush for sure a challenge. Yeah, exactly. Which is coming in about a week and a half here on My Cowboys Family.
So with that said, if we don't wrap it up now,
I know we
tonight's
can't go live.
It's gonna be late, and then you guys will be yelling at us again. So with that said, huge shout out to everybody here, especially people showing all the love, all the support.
Snug
if you're newly subscribed, thank you. If you guys have been here from day one, David, whatever
Dwayne
name
Broussard.
between. Yes. All of you, thank
Raymond
you.
and Emily Jones. Everybody in the house here. Drop the love. Appreciate every single one of you guys.
Yeah.
We'll be back tonight. Talk about this some more. Your comments, your thoughts.
Never been a better time to join up in that membership, though. Navy Blue, Silver Star, but especially those Navy Blues, right? Thank you, Skeptical Fan. That Skeptical Fan sponsored raffle.
Yes, that's coming up right around the corner. Skeptical Fan, much love. We'll show that all tonight on the show, on our nightly show. So check it out. And Ron, the Don Smith, trying to make a challenge for that overall spot, baby. I had to check the numbers here, but he's getting closer to Mark Hosepian's top spot with that $2 holler. What do you say?
I definitely agree with the MCF and MCW. #believe.
Hell yeah. I believe we're going to get that number 6.
I have to admit, I cannot think of a time that the Cowboys have been this exciting, even though I feel like it can feel exciting every year, but generally, truly, I just feel so comfortable. I don't know how to explain it in a good way.
I think that you have to remember that the excitement kind of started with the Stephon Gilmore trade. Then it continued with the Brandon Cooks trade. And then now we're here with, a much later move here, but a great, I think, move in Trey Lance. Now, do we want to see a running back, maybe a linebacker, definitely an offensive lineman, like a guard of some sort?
Here we are extending this again. So
I agree, but I agree, but I do think that when you look at the cuts coming up on Tuesday, that's when the Cowboys are going to pick up that guard. We're looking at maybe even a running back or a linebacker, possibly either at cut day and, put someone on the 53 or 24 hours later. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do at those other three, hanging spots we got left, because I do like that the quarterback room got a lot more solid for the future today. Mm-hmm. And it's an aggressive move. These three moves we made are aggressive for quality players or projected quality players for low risk, high reward. I'm talking about Gilmore, Cooks, and now Trey Lance. Yep. Great move by the front office. Even though they clowning around a lot of times, today was a win for the Joneses front office, in my humble opinion. So shout outs, I guess we're done. Everybody in the house.
I'm going to do the world's
quickest shout outs.
Well,
let's go. I want to hear you sound like
does this trade shut the fans up about never making moves?
An auctioneer. Well,
maybe for a little bit.
We still need the offense. I need to see the offensive line move. I'm still waiting for that one. But listen, this is what I'm trying to say. We've gotten better.
At offensive line, like 10 out of 11 out of 10.
If it's the right move, yes. But again, I want to make sure I stress this. This has been the most aggressive the Cowboys have been, before a season begins in a very long time. So
yes, I'm sure.
I will not. We could have 1 year like this. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, they've wronged all their wrongs. They've righted all their wrongs for the last 27 years. But it's a step in the right direction there, my guy.
Yeah,
so
here we go.
Here we go. Auctioneer time.
Ramon, Emily Jones, Cactus G, Cat 52, Aztec Aguilera 4, Drums and Cowboys, Stoned Immaculate 2, Bama Fan, Ron the Don Smith, Skeptical Fan, Snug X, Scorpio in the house, PPC Records, Jamie Ortega, Cam DCFL, 5-times champ. We have Justin Quarles, the Q-Man, Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, Popeye Peach 187, Drums and Cowboys in the house, Brandon James 31, House Nelson, what's up? We have Quan, much love to you, Jimmy Kirby, hello and hi, Dean Graham, Kyle, Presley Mitchell. Trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. The Reaper, even you, Jack Dong. It's all good. Papa's Boys. We have... That's as far back as I can go. Kenzie Bands, much love to you. Scorpio in the house, of course. All of you guys, again, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us.
I just want to make sure everyone understands one thing here about this trade in the end.
Okay.
At the very least, with Trey Lance under contract with the Cowboys for the next 2 years, the Cowboys now have a developmental quarterback on the team that could take the Cowboys away in the draft next year from needing or wanting to draft one. It's plain and simple. This is what it does.
And we did that with the fourth round pick.
We did it with a fourth round pick that we're going to get replaced with another comp pick in this next offseason. So we're good. We're good.
Is this the 4 for 4? Cool.
We're good.
So, Raul, what's up? Much love. So, again, guys, catch you all later tonight, baby. Why do we do what we do?
I think we all know why. But I want you to tell them.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything.
Yeah, you see, we repping it here. Win, lose, or draw, no matter what. Good, bad, or ugly, no matter what. Here in MCF, we always rep that star over everything. Here in My Cowboys Family for 6 years and beyond, and now in our 7th season of doing this on YouTube. Never forget, on My Cowboys Family, the number one thing here now and forever, as always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. Thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. We'll talk about it some more later tonight, as our usual late nights go, Fan Friday style tonight here on My Cowboys Family. See you then. Much love to those that dropped the love from above. Ron the Don in that star level. All the people in the house. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog. Ramon and Emily. Ramon and Emmeline here with us. Everybody, can't do this without your love and support. Thank you on that side. But now it is time to clock out and drop out and talk about Trey Lance and this trade later tonight. Before we can do that, though, baby, what do we got to do before we drop out of here for the moment?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beats drop, guys. Put your comments down below. If you're checking this out in the replay, it's about 50-minute video. But, hey, it was a worth the discussion. And if you guys do remember your guy here, My Cowboys Family, MCF here, we told you about this possibility in the offseason, but everyone's shocked now. Well, appreciate everybody. We'll see you back later tonight for another one. Hey, Tommy Jenkins, welcome to the family. Appreciate you. Go Cowboys. You know the deal here. Hit that like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hey, let us know what you think about this here breaking news. Cowboys trade for former 3rd overall pick in 2021. Trey Lance, quarterback from the Niners. Now a Cowboy, backup, 3rd stringer. We give up a 4th rounder next year for him. That's a pretty good deal, I would say here. Let us know what you think about that in the comments down below. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. See us later tonight here, right here on MCF, My Cowboys Family, where you know what it's always about. That navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. As always, never forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. Much love to all of you for being here with us. Thank you. Stay safe. We'll see you in a couple hours. Have a good rest of your evening. Peace out. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.